Good evening, chat. Hey guys. Why? Come on. There we go. All right, that was weird. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. It is Friday night, and yeah, we are a little bit on the road tonight. We're actually in the kitchen because everything's gone. It's basic.
Your camera's black.
It should be not anymore.
There you go.
It's you remember you guys are a couple seconds behind. All right. So you guys might hear the echo, like everything's gone. Movers came today. 2.0 did a great job of getting everything set up and taken care of. And your new kitchen looks lovely. It's not the new kitchen. This is the old kitchen. So this is what it's probably going to look like for the next couple of weeks. A lot of this crap will be gone, though, because 2.0 is heading down on Sunday, but I'll be here for a couple weeks. Did they even take what was nailed down? Yes. Yes, we're getting a Ricada-style stream. Oh, my God. The audio is a bit low. Need to boost it a bit. Guys, I don't know what to... Oh, hold on here. Let me try this. There we go. I could boost my mic a little bit, and that's going to be it. Nice microwave. Thank you. Did the Haitians get Clyde? No. In fact, it is 2.0. It is Brody. It is Clyde. And it is Laney over there. And the cats. So, my wife is so happy in our place the overhead microwave with a real vent. You are living in a cave. Well, such is life. Such is life. Yes, we're DSP maxing. We have paper plates. And yes, we're doing all right tonight, though, chat. Can I make a sandwich? No. Are all your doors on your cabinets? Yes, they are. Let's see here. Yes, T-Rex Travels, how you doing, man? Yes, R.I.P. Kyle Busch. Yeah, it sounds like he had some medical issues, and the last race he was in kind of exacerbated and may have caused a blood clot to shift, which you wouldn't think that, but there's enough G-force there to make it happen. So, yeah, rip to like the last of the old breed of NASCAR drivers. He really was the last. I didn't realize he was my age. I thought he was a little older than me, but yeah. So, also, I apologize, guys. We had to find this, and then we had to get some things sorted out because everything's just a mess in here now. So, sorry for being late. When you get to Florida, it's mandatory to have Dixie cups and plates. Perfect. Does 2.0 get pissed if you leave the cabinets open? Yes. Really, the big one is, though, for like the microwave, if you leave it on and you pull something out and you leave it going and it just says like press start, press start, press start. That's something she always is like, can you please stop that? Check your dishwasher. Yes. Yeah, we've checked everything. Let's see. Want to do a cooking show? No. Ken says the dryer and the dishwasher are famous for leaving items behind. We've checked both. Well, the dryer and the washer are running full speed because when the movers came today, we put the dogs in the bathroom, and Clyde absolutely lost his fucking mind. He chewed and clawed at the bottom of our door, and he did it at the trim in our bathroom. I'll take some pictures, put them up on Locals. But oh my God, he lost his mind, and they started peeing everywhere. And now, we don't know what's happened, but it's all the clothes that we have left here and a couple of blankets, because obviously everyone needs the blankets. Everything smells like pee right now. We're not sure what happened, but Clyde basically had a pee party, it looks like. And so did Brody, because Clyde pees and Brody's like, oh, I'm the guy too. I'll pee there too. So we got we're rewashing everything. So yeah, don't worry. We're gonna check all that before we leave. Is this a hostage video? Of course it is. Yes, it is. It's an impromptu cooking stream, yes. Whiskey 77 for $5 says, we have reached Racket's level streaming by Monday. We will unlock the Cyrax achievement. Well, remember, Cyrax got top billing by Count Dankula, which was weird. But yes, there we go. I didn't notice he apologized for being gay. Well, why would I? Debbie O for $5 says, congrats to 2.0 on her promotion. Happy this is all coming together for the two of you. Well, thank you. I don't know if she's even heard me. I don't think she did. She's got her own stuff on. Base Clyde, yeah. Is this where the sandwiches get made? Yes, it is. This is the room where the magic happens. All the sandwiches. His home is moving. Of course he would. Well, actually, DK Cripple, we think Clyde is probably panicking because when he got dumped at the APL, when we got him at 20. We got him in 20. Actually, hold on here. What day did we get him? It's April 10th. Let me just double check here because I still have it on my calendar. Same thing with my Google Calendar. I can just go back and search for this. Hold on here. CLYDE. Pick up Clyde. April 10th, 2023. From what we understood, whoever had him, whether they were old or whoever they were, they moved and they couldn't take him with them. And they dumped him. We think Clyde probably saw the boxes and was like, oh, fuck, it's happening again. So we think he's going through a little bit of it. We think probably now he's okay that he knows we're still here with him. But we think that was something that was freaking him out because our house was just literally, the boxes are just piling up everywhere. So we think that was going to be a problem for him. T-Rex Travel says, it's okay, Sean. We all know you got distracted by being in the same room as the refrigerator. I mean, it is literally like right there. I could touch it. I could touch it. So thank you for the $5. Anonymous says, for $8.05, I am on time for once. So have your start time. Well, thank you. Should have set the start time for like 23:59 then. King Jair's Bible says for $2, I bear good news. Our wife as well. Suffolk, yeah. Then Unforced Ego for $20. It's good to see you, man. It says 5 minutes late. Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Yes. Yes, it's like, who is behind this betrayal? Who? God, so much dust and animal hair we found everywhere. It is rough in here now. Erica Thorpe for $10 is for the goal. Well, thank you. All right, guys. It's been a couple minutes. Were the movers not American? No. We hired a nice movie company. They're pretty good. So they were very courteous, very nice. They, came in and out and got it done. Took them a little while, but they got it done. Das Boot says, can I commit crimes in Florida on vacation and call you? No, I'm not going to be licensed down there. So no, I have to wait and take their bar. So no, you're on your own. You'll have to call Steve Gosney. Clyde has past trauma. He does. Yes, it's generational trauma. No, but for him, really, it is. It's rough. It's rough. Kathy says, is the house sold already? Not yet. Dog pee's a tough one. No, it's actually easy. We've been cleaning it for years. It's actually okay. We'll be all right. It's a Nutta Showa. When can I put you on retainer? I'm overdue for handcuffs by Florida man. Date. Not till probably this time next year. So. Last says he's surprised I can do this. Well, I mean, we're not going to go super long tonight. So, did I see the latest in the flaggering saga? I mean, I saw the Kino Cathedral got struck, but I don't know what else has happened today. I've been a little busy, so not yet, Ludwig. Let me see here. The house is more excrement than wood. I mean, when I was, I'll tell a story though. When I was with 1.0 and we were looking at houses, so we got married in 2010, and right away we started looking for houses. And we found this one house, and it was cat peed everywhere. Jeez. There was cat pee everywhere. In a couple of the rooms, they had actually pulled out the carpets. But it was like an old lady who died, and oh my god, even with the cart, like we walked in there and we like the door opened and just woof, just ammonia hit us in the face. Like we couldn't even get all the way through the house. It was like a house that would have to probably get. I think the house ended up getting torn down, and whoever bought it tore it down and then just rebuilt. So, what are you doing for that year? Well, I can still do work for things up here in Ohio. There's some work I'll be able to do, but we're going to be doing a lot of this full time. Kind of happening that way. I'm going to talk to Steve Gosney. He may have some opportunities for me to help do some work for some attorneys, things like that. I mean, there might be some opportunities like that, but I'm not going to be able to just hang my own shingle. So there'll be some options. You must be exhausted. A little bit, but you know, we gotta do the work. We gotta do the work, guys. Cat pee never leaves. That's true. The dog pee, though, yeah, we were able to take care of that. Cat pee gets into wood floors. Oh yeah, it does. Blighting their church had that same issue. You couldn't really clean up after the cats, and it got so bad it soaked in. Yeah, it's rough in there when it happens. Am I getting demoted to paralegal? I mean, probably. Basically. Am I going to be a full-time Warhammer painter? That would be funny, but no. Are the tendies gone from your kitchen? Yeah, basically everything's gone. Everything's gone. Yes, we have cabinet doors on our cabinets. We did not have our... the gentleman who constructed this house did not experience terminal cancer, so they were able to finish the job, and we don't have any monuments to... We have no monuments to the fallen handyman here. I mean, we have a bunch of things where I didn't get things done maybe in this house, and 2.0 would probably say that's a thing. But no, there are no monuments to the tomb of the fallen handyman. Did I pay people to rob you? Yes. Ariel says, "What the heck, Sean? Are you okay? Are you homeless now?" Yes. There's an epic LA City Council comment clip. Oh, we're gonna have to watch those. So those will be good. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Yeah, I know, but there's some I didn't get done or done well enough.
That's why I'm hiring out for the next house.
Yeah.
Learn my lesson.
Yes, you did. Read my lips, chat. Yes, no new taxes. All right, let's see here. What was we have the same cabinets. But this is like this is basically like a it's a Ryan home, which is like DR Horton and all the other places there. Where is the one thing one of you guys wanted to ask? I just saw. Craig says, if you're looking for content to do, would we get breakdowns of cases like Granby Connor? We could do some of that. We'll do some of that. I mean, there's like we're gonna have trials like Courtney Clenny, Carmelo Anthony. There's all kinds of crap that's gonna be going down. We're gonna watch live. We're gonna stream during the day. Because I'll have time to do that. All kinds of stuff. Godiva, this is probably the last question here. If I lived in Ohio all my life, yes. I've lived here in the Cleveland area. I lived in Toledo. I've lived, down in Dayton for a while. And then when I moved back up this way, I moved way up over into the far northeast corner of Ohio, which, you might say, well, that didn't sound far away, but from like the Cleveland area, it's the moon. And now, yeah, I mean, like I've lived in Ohio all my life. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting living in a whole new state. I was talking shit. Of course I always talking shit. You're a bunch of fags. Chucky Show says, chat, when he gets licensed, we got to throw the biggest Florida party and hire him when we get charged for disturbing the peace. Well, there you go. Hey, that's an interesting way of doing it. Interesting way of doing it. I lived in Wheeling. Yeah, technically. Yeah, but I mean, was literally in Ohio still doing stuff. Yeah, well, we watching Tyler Robinson. Yeah. Judy says, do I know Bridgeport, Ohio? Yes. Yes, I worked in Wheeling, West Virginia. I worked out of there. And I worked all the way from Wheeling all the way down the river, to Gallipolis, Pomeroy, all the way through up to Cambridge. Like I worked all over southeastern Ohio. Let's see. Alaska says my grandma was from a small town not far from you now. Well, there's a lot of small towns, so learn your hurricane evac zones and have a plan. I know we get to prep now. It's like legitimate prepping. It's kind of cool. Get to have our preps. Cowpoke says, if your Martins have been in Ohio for generations, we may be cousins. My family's not generationally from Ohio, so I am the first. My parents came here, and my brothers and my sisters and I, we are the first generation Ohioans. They moved here, so we have no family in this state other than my family, my direct family, and then eventually 2.0's family. Other than that, I don't have any family in the state. We don't have any family for a couple hundred miles. Hold on, what's that?
What?
What did you say was rude?
I burped and then I said, "Oh, excuse me, that was rude."
Oh, I thought you said I said it was rude. I was like, your family will be my family.
I'm not listening to you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. She said she's not listening. That hurts. All right. Did I see the Toledo kindergarten fight? If that's something new, no, I have not. Send me a link to that. I'll take a look. Oh, yeah. It's time for the casino song Stupido starting to sing. Debbie O says, how far are you from Dayton?
Always.
Right now, we're like, where I'm at, that's like 3.5 hours away. When I used to live down there, I was probably 45 minutes away from Dayton. Dr. Gina sells a 25K reward out for a missing Shih Tzu. Yeah, I know, and I have my own Shih Tzu now, so. Am I going to go to the F1 races while you're there? Maybe. I mean, the thing is, though, F1 is getting, like, retarded expensive. Although Miami sounds like a fun time. I still think the cooler one would be to go to, like, Montreal, because that's, like, that's actually got a pretty cool vibe. But yes, Debbie, thank you for the super chat. Wait, how did you pronounce Gallipolis? Did I say Gallipolis? Gallipolopolis, I don't know. It was in Gallia County. That's all you need to know. It's down there in God's country. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see here. Carmelo Anthony will not have in-court streaming. Really? Oh, damn. I thought that might change. So,
Cali girl.
what did Egg just do?
What's he doing?
Oh, you just got a raise. There you go. Did you hear a performative male named Noah is being sued? Yes, Ethan Klein is suing Noah Sampson. I'm going to look into that. The problem is when you try to get documents out of California, they like charge you for fucking everything. So we may try. We may try there.
Can I help you? What are you doing?
I'm butchering those names. Oh, suffer. I'm sorry I don't speak Hilljack. I tried.
Okay.
It's pronounced Gallipolis. Yes.
Gallipolis.
Gallipolis. Well, Gallipolis. So.
It's where the rubber ducky thing is.
Yeah, they have a big rubber duck race on the river. Yes. Gallipolis. Gallipolis. All right. And Andrea's going to the Carmelo thing? Damn. Nice. All right. So let's see here. Anyways, guys, it is time to get started. We wasted enough time here. Let's get on to the main event tonight, Destiny. And if you guys remember, hold on, chat. So we get into Destiny versus Pixie, or Pixie versus Destiny, I think is more appropriate to phrase it in the current linings of things. So, guys, remember, Pixie is suing Destiny for basically revenge pornography, although it's not in the same sense as traditionally done, or it's a lot more like what happened with Aaron M. Holt. Aaron M. Holte from the Steel Toe Morning Show, a private intimate image was shared, allegedly without Pixie's consent, is what she's claiming. And we're now dealing with what's...
Did you just say Steel Toe?
Yeah. It's just like that. He shared, the allegation is he shared an image.
I thought you were saying that Aaron sent a picture of Pixie.
No.
It's a little confusing.
You have to listen the whole way through. You can't jump in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, she thought I said like Steel Toe's part of the story. No. Although him and Destiny are like cringe brothers from the same mother. Now, how did this work though? So Destiny shared some images of Pixie, and Pixie is claiming, I never gave you permission to do that. You weren't allowed to do that. And yes, this is 100% a civil case right now. Unlike the stuff with Aaron, if this was up in Minnesota, yeah, this could have been probably charged, and given how ridiculous they are charging up there, sure. Theoretically, in Florida, could this have been charged? Maybe, I guess. But once again, I still don't think that would have been the right call. I don't think, remember, guys, when we're suing or charging people for stuff, it's like, is that what we really want to do with the law? Is that how we want the law to work? And I don't think that, the civil side of this is working well enough. So anyways, Pixie sued under CARDI, and that is the CARDII, and that's the statute that allows for the civil actions relating to the disclosure of intimate images. So CARDII. And it allows people to pursue private actions in federal court to go forward on this. Now, there are some things that are completely uncontroverted and undisputed. Destiny did share something. It's him and Pixie, and it's them getting it on. And it's clearly intimate images. There's nudity involved. There's some, there's some humping going on in that. It's clearly those are 100% things. Those three things are, everybody agrees, happened. Now, the issue is, when did it happen? Remember, when did it happen? Because the cutoff line for CARDI, when it becomes a thing, is what really the biggest issue here is. And that's the biggest thing. what is the effective date of Cardi? Well, Cardi went into effect on October 1st, 2022. If it happened after that date, it's fair play and Cardi is able to be used. If it happens before that date, Cardi does not have a retroactive look back or retroactive application. And if that were the case, Pixie loses in federal court. And she does have state level claims that are tied to this, including intentional infliction of emotional distress and a couple of other things. But those aren't really the big ones. The big one really here is the federal cause of action. And that's really where the big fight right now is. Because once again, everybody is, we're just figuring out when did it happen. And remember, there is no issue about implied consent or any of those things. That's not an excuse. That's not a defense under Cardi. You need explicit consent, and that's the only way you have a defense here. So, yeah, it's not retroactive at all. It's not retroactive at all. You can't go back in time. So the issue becomes, was it on this side of 2022, October 1st, 2022, or this side? And if it's over, oh God, that looks weird the way I'm doing it. If it's over on this side of 2022, it fails. If it's over on this side of 2022, Pixie has a chance. So, Good Ivan says, do we know why the federal charges were chosen rather than state? I mean, it allows for different things here, but also just, they wanted to go for it, and it's a statutory cause of action, and there are statutory damages attached to it. So that's why. That is how. Hash Save is saying that would be ex post facto, which is a no-no. It wouldn't necessarily be ex post facto. Just kind of like the whole Trump thing. They went back and gave everybody like an infinity, they changed the statute of limitations to infinity time for 1 year. And it was allowed Trump get sued, but then everybody jumped on board, and that didn't count that way. Bush says, is Pixie a guy? No. Believe it or not, despite the fact that we have evidence of Destiny doing stuff with guys, allegedly including Nick Fuentes. Not 100% confirmed, but once again, I think we all know. We all have our suspicions. We have our suspicions. What happened though? Well, Pixie is a girl. She is part of that at the time when Destiny had that universe of all these women, basically coming around Destiny for clout and getting their, expanding their universe and becoming part of the Destiny orbit. This is back in the heady days of Sputnik and Yuri Gagarin, to quote Captain Ramius. But no, you had like President Sunday, and you had J-Stock, and or however you pronounce his fucking name, and you had like all those people, Chud Logic, and it was the good days, the good old days, before the bad times, before the apocalypse. And from now, now we're just trying to figure out what happened here. Remember, we went through this case. This case has gone on a pretty quick trajectory overall. And we're now to the point of summary judgment. We talked about last time we were live on this, the whole issue about the motions for summary judgment, all the sanctions. And the court said, look, I'm not granting anything now. Everybody gets one bit of discovery, the last piece of discovery. The plaintiff and the defendant, Destiny and Pixie, both have to be deposed. That's it. No more discovery. After that, file your motions and I'll make a decision. And remember, it is set for trial later this year in July. And here we go. It's going to be interesting. I think we'll get a decision pretty soon. I think there is enough of a, difference in material fact that there's not an agreement that I don't think summary judgment will be warranted. Now, is that guaranteed? No. Is it, where do I think this is right now? I think Pixie's got the edge, and this thing we're going to get into tonight is probably what gives her the edge. So I think this is probably going to get set for trial. And at that point, oof. If I'm Destiny, I don't want to go to trial. If I'm Pixie, I don't want to go to trial either. Like, both cases are not the best. And as we talked, Pixie's attorneys have not done the best things available for them. They have not done. They made a lot of tactical errors, I think, that would have strengthened their cases and done things in a different manner. Probably would have helped. Destiny's attorney, Andrew Brettler, he's a guy representing like Harvey Weinstein, is now involved with I think the firm is representing David. They're famous representing Prince Andrew as well. They've done actually a pretty good job in that regards of just doing their job as attorneys. From here, though, I think, we heard Destiny kind of talk about how the depositions went. And the problem is with Destiny, like if you ask him how it went, he played a round of golf, he'd tell you he scored like 14 hole in one. He's like, I got a hole in one. I did it 14 times. You're like, but that's not how that happened. And he talks about how people got flustered and people were throwing papers. I don't know if you guys have seen the clip of Lauren De Laguna getting deposed, and she makes a joke to Brettler, Destiny's attorney, Brettler. It's like, I guess it's a date. And he's like, that's not funny. This is serious. You can't, we're not, it's like, oh, fucking chill out. So anyway, let's get to this. What we're dealing with now is the motions for spoliation of evidence and sanctions. And sanctions come under Rule 37 of the Rules of Civil Procedure. And this all comes down to Destiny, doing his desperate deletion, just coming in and just going, delete, get everything, gotta get rid of it all. That's what he did. Deleted a ton of stuff. And then had to fabric cobble and, basically like bubblegum and wire together discovery of, these documents that he had and of the logs of Discord and other things. So let's actually get into this now. It is where we are. And this is actually pretty good. And I think they do a very good job of laying everything out. Your stove is on, by the way. No, it's not, because everything would be catching on fire because it's a gas stove. So har. All right, guys, here we go.
We have electric in Florida.
Yeah, that is the thing that sucks in Florida. Everything's electric. And it's like, I like having a gas stove. Gas is so much better to cook on. And, if the power ever goes out, you still have gas. Our water heater's gas. Like, I mean, I don't need a water heater down in Florida, but still, like, it's the principle of, the water, that said, though, in a place like Florida with like hurricanes and everything being so shallow, gas lines sound very, very dangerous, but, I'd still prefer it just because of the cost. Anyway, so let's get into Destiny and the issues of, and this is, guys, and honestly here, as we get into this is nothing new. This is nothing new. These are things we talked about, but this is the final kind of like the last big punch that Pixie can throw before the court makes a ruling, because it's something that they have to file in addition to it. So here we go. This is a motion for sanctions under Federal Civil Procedure 37E2 for spoliation of evidence. Spoliation means that, he's intentionally causing things to be destroyed or failure to preserve documents. So if he wasn't paying attention and, spoliated evidence, like every once in a while things get overwritten in a DVR, or data retention, you didn't follow up on it. That can be spoliation. It's reckless. It's negligent. But it can also be intentional. If you just come in, you just go delete. That's also spoliation. So they're moving for spoliation of ESI. And ESI, guys, as we talked about this before, is electronically stored information. And what does that cover? Well, electronically stored information is an actual term of things you have to do here, and it's everything. Your Discord logs are electronically stored information. Emails are electronically stored information. Anything that's stored electronically is electronically stored information. And we've talked about this before, guys, where you have things like backup tapes, which is like a way to store data, like deep storage, where things are stored on these big magnetic tapes. Data-wise, like I think nowadays, though, given the amount of space you can buy for cheap, it's not as big a thing anymore, but for a long time it was. Electronically stored information, your phone is ESI. Not to be confused with TMI. Now, they point out after the defendant's duty to preserve attached, he deleted his communications with multiple witnesses and destroyed Google Drive files and Discord attachments that he transmitted to them. As to one witness, you guys remember Abby MC, and I think it's Abby Mick, I don't really know. Destiny filed a sworn true and correct log, meaning he stated it was factually accurate, of 22 outbound media files, but he wasn't able to produce any of them. The log is demonstrably false. It emits 2 additional Google Drive links Destiny's own chat threads show him sending. And we talked about a lot of these inconsistencies that have shown up before. And they say remarkably, and this is, guys, remember, once again, we're seeing this more and more, especially in these suits. When you're in a lawsuit, you got to be careful you don't get lawyers. But, this is a bit snarky here. It's not as snarky as Smash JT and Alyssa Mercanti. But remember, in that one, Alyssa's lawyers have every right to be snarky and persnickety because they're in charge right now. Remarkably, defendant spent time and effort creating his false true and correct log, but no time or effort in getting the video removed from Kiwi Farms or other sites. Which, once again, there's nothing he can do about that. There's nothing he can do about it. Once it's up, it's up. And they say that Destiny Spoliation strikes at the heart of the case, and this is a big thing here, and it's a big part of Pixie's case. The destroyed evidence bears directly on the dispositive merits of the pending motion for summary judgment. Whether Destiny transmitted intimate recordings of Pixie after Cardi's effective date. His own productions show that in 2023, he transmitted multiple Google Drive links and other media to Abby, including a May 5th, 2023 link with the message, "Did I ever send you the one of her blowing me?" The underlying files no longer exist. It's funny because, with Destiny, you can also say, "Did I ever send you the one of me blowing him?" And with this, guys, what can Pixie do? Well, there could be sanctions. One of the sanctions, obviously, Destiny can have attorney's fees, have to pay for it, have to do all this work for Pixie's team. The other thing, and the bigger thing that Pixie wants, is the court to sanction Destiny by saying, well, you are not, it can be, number one, the court can order things. It can deny defenses. And also it can allow Pixie what's called an adverse inference instruction. And what that means is that at some point in the trial, Pixie would be able to have the court say, and it would be part of the jury instructions as well, that an adverse inference allows the jury to presume that the missing evidence, the missing things Pixie is trying to say existed, would have been completely unfavorable, not even partially. But the jury's allowed to presume they were completely unfavorable to Destiny and would have been entirely supportive of Pixie's claims. And with that alone, they could use that information to determine that Pixie is correct and everything occurred after Cardi's effective date. So it is very, very, very important. Very important. So there's a lot here Pixie's gunning for. And if she can get this stuff, whoo, man, it's not a good day. It's not a good day. So let's keep going. They talk about, Pixie has a forensic expert, Jesus Pena. And here's the thing, Destiny never got a forensic expert. And I don't know, obviously money's not an issue. Destiny's probably spent close to $1 million at this point. I don't know if he's actually disclosed it, but it wouldn't surprise if he spent at least $1 million now on his defense. I'm sure he's been just paying out the ass at this point, which, he's gotten a very good attorney. He's gotten his money's worth. But they have not used an expert to say, no, this is all legit. Now, why do I think that? I don't think it's an issue of they don't think they need it, because if they think they don't need it, that's a massive misstep in my opinion. What I think more likely has happened at this point is they try to find people who would back them up and find experts, but they probably can't find an expert who's willing to co-sign on this. And that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me because we've gone through this stuff before, and a lot of things Destiny submitted are just hot garbage. And any expert worth their salt's not going to attest to that because that would hurt them down the road if they're trying to be experts in other cases. And then also, it's kind of like the deals I mentioned before with like medical experts. As attorneys, we have basically we're like quack directories. You could find all kinds of quacks out there, medical doctors that'll certify this, that, or the other. Like you could find Dr. Nick Riviera out there, like in any type of field. Now, the problem is you're basically using Dr. Nick and like, hi, everybody. If that's what your expert is like, and he's just, it's like hiring Shannon Burgess from Aperture. You're hiring Hillbilly Jim to explain all your computer stuff, and it's like, well, when you turn the computer on and the bits and the bytes, they go binging around like babies in a Coke can. He's not going to be very credible. So I think Destiny ran into a problem, probably trying to find a credible expert that would actually go along with what they're wanting to say. They probably couldn't get anybody. So that's why we haven't seen one from Destiny, if I had to guess. And Safa, thank you on a wall. Or like, yes, the plastic surgeon from Cardi B's case is another great example. Or the psychiatrist that was used in the Cardi B case. The plaintiff psychiatrist who, and everybody they used. It's 100% a very correct thing there. So they talk about, once again, Jesus Pena has confirmed that Destiny's preservation were forensically unreliable. Yeah. He used non-native third-party tools. He generated no hash values or metadata. Manually reconstructed parts of an exhibit and rendered the Google Drive and Discord attachments unrecoverable. And guys, I apologize. I am like in a position where I can't necessarily use my mouse perfectly. I'm sitting like in front of the island and doing this. Destiny never moved to exclude Pena, never deposed him, and never disclosed no rebuttal expert. And this is a big thing here. They never moved to exclude him. They never deposed him, which you have the right to depose the experts. That is entirely within your purview. You have the right to do that. Yes, Mark Canfield says, would it be bad if this expert got their theories directly from the farms? I mean, is it that he got it from the farms or like he's like, oh, yeah, hey, actually, this is correct and just use that? I mean, is it still sound? Is it correct? That's the bigger thing here because that's, if you're going to use that, great. But Destiny and his attorney, they don't have an expert come in and say this guy's a piece of shit. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. You just coming and saying, that's not true, doesn't work necessarily. So they go on to talk about Rule 37 applies where ESI should have been preserved and is lost because a party failed to take reasonable steps to preserve it. They start out with the Skanska USA Civil Southeast Incorporated. Notice they didn't italicize your fucking case captions. Come on, guys. Come on now. Then they point out Destiny's own deposition, testimony, production, sworn statements, and public admissions establish each of the elements here. So what do they want to do here? They want to strike Destiny's defenses and enter judgment as a favor of liability. They're asking for the kill shot, just saying, Judge, what he's done is so heinous. It's so outrageous, as Professor Slater would say. It was outrageous that stop the fight. Just say Pixie wins. That's not going to happen. Not happening here. Or alternatively, find under Rule 37 that he intentionally spoliated evidence with the intent to deprive Pixie of its use and this litigation and presume or instruct the jury, it may presume, and this is where we get to the adverse inference, the destroyed Google Drive files that Destiny transmitted to Abby in 2023 included one or more of the 3 intimate recordings that Pixie and Destiny Pixie that Destiny admitted at deposition he made. Pixie also requests an award of reasonable attorney's fees and cost. So we're going to talk about the facts for the spoliation. And once again, guys, do not widow and orphan check when you are writing your documents. widow and orphan check. So that is, and Sweet Tooth says, if you depose the opposition's expert, do you or the opposition have to pay for the expert's time? That's part of your, if I hire an expert, he's going to get deposed. That's on me to pay for it, at least initially. But, if we win, that's a cost that you could assess. But you're not, you're the one offering the expert. You're on the hook for it initially, at least. Now, if you win, that could change. So it all depends. That's a very good question, Sweet Tooth. Now, from here, though, just don't do this, guys. Don't do this. So Destiny testified that it recorded 3 videos of Pixie. And they talk about the deposition of Bennell, and that's, remember, guys, Destiny's real name is government name, Stephen K. Bennell. And it says, and they talk about the video publicly leaked on November 29th by an account associated with Solo Tiny Leaks. We already have this part of Pixie performing oral sex on Destiny. Destiny admitted to transmitting that video to non-party witness Rose in April 2022, before Icardi's effective date. Now, this is where it's interesting, though. They're acknowledging that occurred before, and this is an interesting thing that they're willing to concede now. Even assuming the transmission to Rose occurred prior to Icardi's effective date, the video remained accessible on Discord's CDN servers in Rose's Discord account, and was thus made accessible by Destiny within the meaning of Cardi, well past Cardi's effective date. Yeah, but it's interesting that they're now going down this road of admitting this. Because for the longest time they were saying, well, no, but I think they realize the writing's on the wall in that regard and that they're not going to get any further with this. So it's just interesting how they did that. The merits of the dispute is whether any of the 3 recordings of Pixie were transmitted or were still accessible on or after Cardi's October 1st effective date. Non-party witness Abby has submitted 2 sworn declarations attesting to Destiny's transmission of the video to her after Cardi's effective date. Destiny's duty to preserve here, and they talk about the duty to preserve attached no later than November 29th, when Solo publicly posted intimate knowledge. And it put defendant on notice that litigation was reasonably foreseeable. I don't know if it really was at that point. And this is where I think they run into a bit of an issue here if I'm Pixie's team. I'm not saying if I'm Pixie's team, but I'll be honest here, and I will good faith carry this argument for Destiny. I do think he has a bit of an answer here that, how was I supposed to know you were going to sue me? Like, to be fair, Destiny, and this is something he's had this happen a couple of times. It just happens. Like, this is not the first time Destiny's had this problem of sharing lewds or nudes around, and this being a bit of a sex pest scandal for Destiny. This is actually again, really? Steve, and so this is not the first time it's happened to him and nothing's happened. So I could easily, he could make the argument. And once again, if he really wants to make the argument, and, I do this all the time, so I wouldn't know. I guess, we've already gotten to the point where he's said, oh, I didn't know Rose wasn't a minor. I was actually sharing pictures of Solo, who was catfishing me, pretending to be Rose. And Solo is actually one of my longtime viewers, so I was actually masturbating for one of my part of the male audience. It's like, if that's your way of thinking, if that's how you have to win, man, I guess that's how you're going to have to win. Yeah. So I don't think it really was. Now, that said, though, the duty was reinforced in January by a hand and email demand for preservation of evidence. Now, this is correct. That is a preservation. That is correct. You preserve evidence. That is not a problem. I think that is 100% correct. Once you get a preservation notice, yeah, you're on notice to preserve. I don't think any of us here would say that's a problem. And when you go to the preservation notice, it's okay, yeah. So this is a preservation notice, and this is to Destiny. Here it says, Destiny, I write for my client, Miss Pixie, informing you of a claim of damages, commencing in or about January 2022 with intimate knowledge. It says, and this is where you get to the actual preservation part. And these are how these letters go. and you are put on notice at this point for these situations. You are hereby advised of your legal obligation to preserve, maintain, and prevent spoliation of and destroy any evidence which in any way relates to this matter. Specifically, you must ensure the following evidence. ESI is to be protected. Website data, images and videos, metadata, storage media, third-party information, statements. And it says you must take all necessary measures to preserve the above listed evidence in its current form, including ensuring no data is modified, overwritten, or deleted. Adequate preservation of ESI requires more than simply refraining from efforts to delete, destroy, or dispose of it. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's more than just that. You must intervene to prevent loss due to routine operations, meaning, for example, if messages disappear after a certain amount of time, you have to take efforts to preserve them. Or active deletion by empowering proper techniques and protocols to preserve ESI. So, for example, if you have Signal, if there's ways to preserve it, you have to. It says they point out, and this is italicized, to point out many routine activities to serve to irretrievably alter evidence and constitute unlawful spoliation of evidence. And this is just a warning. And it says you are directed to immediately initiate a litigation hold for potentially relevant ESI. And a litigation hold is mainly like what you do if you're a corporation. You're like, look, everything's stopped, save all the data, back it up, and send it along. And they say you are further directed to immediately identify and modify or suspend features of your information systems to prevent the cause of ESI from being lost. So, and this is all talking about nothing here diminishes your common law and statutory obligations to preserve documents. And yes, signed by Pixie's attorneys. So this is what a preservation notice looks like. And it works. Now, yes, we get to a thing here, KMW says, weren't some of these technically illegal? Well, remember, Destiny's saying, well, that wasn't actually what happened. But remember, we went through so much of this where it was like, wait, really, what the fuck is going on? And now Destiny's claiming, oh, it never happened. But we had that whole discussion of if it's cheese pizza, nobody's allowed to hold on to it. Well, it's kind of interesting how that works. But yeah, I mean, if that happens, you still can't preserve it. Nobody's allowed to hold on to that stuff. But that's a very good question. And then Haven Monahan says, Destiny talked about him and Pixie going after Solo legally almost immediately after the leaks. Is that enough for a duty to preserve in this particular lawsuit? I would argue that if you're already contemplating legal action, I mean, as a plaintiff, you don't necessarily have a duty to preserve, but you would argue you're going to preserve all your data to strengthen your case. So yes, I would argue that's something you can use here. And guys, I have not read this motion all the way, so maybe they touch on that. But yes, if that's something here, I would try to use that if I'm Pixie's team. The court itself reinforced the duty at the April hearing, saying you can't destroy evidence after you're on notice of the suit and the preservation letter has been sent. And they talk about Destiny deleted side of communications with multiple witnesses after duty preserve attached. Yes. I need to go get a drink. I will be right back. Hold on. All right, guys. Sorry, we're back. Sorry about the wait. So, Nero's saying, wait, Destiny claimed it wasn't CSAM, so you'd be able to hold on to it, though, unless... Yeah, well, it wasn't clear. There's that whole thing was just so fucking weird about how that broke out. And then when Rose finally got deposed, and she's like, well, I had my internet boyfriend from London, and I thought he was going to come over here and kill and rape me and all kinds of things and sell me into sexual slavery. The whole thing didn't make any sense. But, you know, it all worked out for Destiny in the way it worked out. And you're like, I don't buy it. But you know what? It's worked out. So Destiny got a dub there. I mean, at what cost? At what cost? At what cost? I don't know, but, you know, we'll leave that alone. Jeez, I need to get some Vapor Rub or something. Anyways, they say Destiny deleted side communications. Well, here we go. So Destiny deleted communications with at least 5 women whose communications are relevant. And these are all the parties here that did this. And once again, these are the people we've heard about from before. Pixie, Abby, Hannah Brooke, not Hannah Claire, Witness A, and Witness B. Before and after the November 24th leaks. So each attests that Destiny deleted his side. Abby admitted it at deposition, which, remember, guys, Destiny admitted it at his deposition. He deleted his Discord messages with Abby sometime at the end of 2024. He also admitted to deleting a May 13th live stream that after the leaks in January, February, I ran like a whole redact in my Discord. Once again, chat, and this is where I get it for Destiny. You have this like spurgy, compulsion to talk about your case. This is why you don't talk about things online. This is why you don't do it, Destiny. I mean, I'll do it like the black woman. This is why you don't do that. Don't. Ne pas. Niet. Nein. No. This is why you don't do this. Because now you talk about it and now it's documented. Like you are literally taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy at this point. Like you are literally doing it. You are literally doing the thing.
Nigga, is you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy? What the fuck is you thinking, man?
Which, does that mean he lied at his deposition? I don't know. Or was he confused? I don't know. But, this is the problem. Maybe he is incorrect, and maybe it was before the preservation letter came. But now he's saying January, February. Maybe he misspoke. I don't know. But that's why you don't speak at all, because then you don't have to worry about it. Like, you should have sat there and spurred out about Trump, spurred out about Rob Noor or Ryan Mullally or whatever it is, or whatever other weird fucking drama you want to talk about, instead of this, because now you've handed ammunition to Pixie. But, at your May live stream, like this literally just came in, and notice 5 days later, they're filing this motion, including that, which places the deletion squarely after the preservation duty had attached. But what does a whole redact of my Discord mean? We don't know. But whatever it is, it sounds like you've either destroyed, modified, or altered those things. Destroying, modifying, or altering. It's that spoliation. Abby separately attests that in April 2025, Destiny deleted all of his direct messages to me on the Discord platform, including the sharing of the video of Pixie. The destruction is critical. Due to Destiny's deletions, Abby cannot produce the video, and Destiny produced none of the media files he sent to Abby, which is a big thing. Why did you delete them? Why did you delete all the shit you sent to Abby if it's not bad? And this goes to that adverse inference stuff, guys. This is where you can use that against Destiny and use it to hurt him. He has a lot of problems with this, so it could become a big, big problem. Yes, stop talking about your case. Stop talking about your case. Do not do it. Don't do it. Because if you do that, well, guess what? Now it's out there. It's out there. Well, I can really hear myself echo. It's just there's no incentive There's no upside to it. And I know Destiny talks to I think one of his, like, a lawyer in his, not Pisco, but it's like Kafka Esquire. Talk to that dude fucking offline, man. You don't need to drag that shit into like the open air. You shouldn't be. And then, like, I will say, like, going to talk to Luss on like his own, it's like, geez, man, like, Destiny's just like fucking you're just walking into potential minefields that you're laying down yourself, and whether you're not paying attention where you're burying them. Hannah Brooke attests that Destiny deleted his messages to her sometime in early February 2025. Destiny admitted to communicating with Brooke on Discord, and when asked whether he deleted those, he conceded it's possible, which means yes. They requested the communication, but Destiny couldn't produce them. And that's a problem because she says they exist, and he's like, I don't have them. It's not a good answer. Witness A says sometime after January 21st, Destiny deleted the messages between him and them on Discord and removed her access to the Google Drive containing content he shared. Destiny produced no communications with Witness A. More importantly, what's this Google Drive? What was on it? Why can't we see it? Witness B said that he shared her video with Rose. Witness B said that sometime after the November leaks, Witness B discovered that Destiny had deleted the messages between them. Destiny can't produce those documents. And then Pixie. Destiny deleted his side of the Discord with Pixie from her view, leaving her unable to access his messages. Destiny produced a two-way Discord chat thread with Plaintiff, and being Pixie, but Destiny's transmission of infinite images are not visible in the thread itself, and he produced none of the underlying attachments. Once again, that is a problem. Because what are we supposed to assume? Oh, they were just sharing cat pictures. I mean, this is a thing here, guys. This is where it starts building up at Pixie's favor, and the momentum starts building. And it says Destiny's 3 productions concerning Abby contradict each other. Now, guys, when you talk about productions here, these are called RFPs, requests for production. It's a request for production. If this is a criminal case, it would be called a discovery demand. And now, technically, it's a request for discovery, but you're requesting production of documents is the technical term. So it's governed by Rule 26 of the Rules of Federal, the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Blah! It's all governed by that. And you have an ongoing duty to provide documentation and information. And it says Destiny has made 3 distinct productions concerning his communications with Abby. Compared one against another, they establish both fabrication and destruction, which, yeah, they're not good. The two-way Discord chat thread, the 36-page chronological tabular export of Discord between Destiny, Omni-Destiny, and Abby, covering March 2023 through May 2025. Both sides are present. The thread contains 4 Google Drives transmitted to Abby in 2023, which is a thing here, guys. So, and when we look at these, there's an entire list of what's gone on here in these requests for production. Three Bear says, wow, Sean is a natural environment. Yes, just vibing in his lane, chat. Now they talk about April 24th. The Google Drive preceded by Destiny's message of, I've got a 5-minute video of me eating someone out. Do you want it? Another thing that Abby says, did I ever send you a video of her blowing me? And then 2 consecutive Google Drive URLs were sent. The thread also references numerous audio recordings, video files, and other media Destiny was sending or had sent to Abby. But the transmissions of those files are not visible in the thread itself, and the underlying files were never produced. Only the Now, here's the thing that I will point out that I didn't see from Pixie in this, and this is a bit of, I think, once again, I think this is a fumble for Pixie, and this is where, you know, there were motions to there were motions to compel filed, but they involved Kiwi Farms. There were no motions to compel for Destiny because he wasn't getting stuff done. And that's the thing when you go through this entire court case here, you don't see motions to compel. And when you do, Control F and you do a compel, what's the motion to compel in this one? Well, let's take a look at it. What's that motion to compel for? Well, in this one here, it's the matters before the court regarding Lolcow LLC to remove videos. That's all this one's for. It's not a motion from Pixie to compel production of documents. You don't see that here. And once again, I think this is a tactical error by them. You don't have to do a motion to compel, but I think you should do a motion to compel. And once again, I think this is a problem with Pixie and her team. Her lawyers kind of mismanaged discovery here. If you guys remember going back to the beginning, they were complaining that Destiny may be destroying evidence or deleting evidence. And the judge said, I don't care because you haven't asked for any evidence yet. You didn't request documents. They sat on their feet. They sat on their hands for a long time. And I don't understand why they did. Maybe that Brettler encouraged them to sit down and talk through shit after the necessary time and kind of drug it out, which fair play to him. But their failure to properly prosecute discovery hurt them in a lot of ways. Like the issue with Melina, going after her and deposing her. They knew about her from the start. And yet what did they do? They fucked around for months about getting that subpoena out and trying to get international service. It's just Pixie's team has not done a very good job, and I think this is coming back to bite them in the ass. There is no motion to compel here. And they point out only the transmissions from Abby to Destiny are visible, and only those files were produced. I think they didn't do a very good job here on that. The one-sided Discord export. Destiny produced a 106-page export captioned for the username ICWiener. I bet he does. Rendered in the Discord visual interface. And that's where that is where we get to some of these things, guys. And this is where we get to just how messed up some of this crap was. And you're like, well, what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? And you guys remember, this is the gobbledygook Discord stuff that doesn't make a whole lot of sense here. The export covers the same time frame, but only Abby's side. No responses from Destiny appear for more than 2 years. Two productions display different usernames for the same person. In Bloom 91 versus IC Wiener, confirming they were generated at different times and contradict Destiny's statement that he preserved the entirety of his Abby communications. Yeah, because they're all gone. The thread Exhibit D also references numerous audio recordings, files, and other things that are not visible in the thread itself, and they were never produced. They talk about Destiny's self-prepared Exhibit E, which, yes. And they talk about Destiny filed in his motion for summary judgment a declaration saying, Exhibit E is a true copy of every log and media file on Google Drive link I ever sent to Abby. And he says, I preserved the entirety of my communication logs with Abby, including all media files, but you haven't. There are 22 entries, and there are only 2 Google Drive links. And they say, and this is a good point here, either it's demonstrably false because of the own production. Omitted are the links that Destiny's own produced chat thread shows him sending to Abby. And Destiny has produced none of the 22 items that are identified. He's just got a list of links, so what are you supposed to do with that? Well, you can't do anything. You can't do anything with a list of links. Well, they're all gone. Everything's gone. Well, what the hell do I do with that? Well, there's nothing you can do. There ain't nothing you can do with that. And I think that puts Destiny in a problem here. Let me see here. So this is a problem for Destiny. Like, yeah, where is all this stuff? The underlying Google Drive files are not existing anymore. And notice this is from a deposition that Destiny did. They don't exist anymore. So they put out Destiny in a single file. He swore that 22 items existed within his control and never produced any of them. Did you seek a motion to compel? You did not. And I think that might be a problem for you. If I'm Destiny's attorney, I am sure as shit bringing that up. Well, you never, no motions to compel. Now, does that alleviate things? No. Ultimately, Destiny's got a big problem here that he hasn't done anything and he claimed has all this shit and he doesn't have any of it. That is a massive problem. And this is the part of Discovery that people don't like or people aren't prepared for. And this is where I will say Paramount Tactical, the guy who runs that. I really like his show. He had on an attorney that came on there, and the guy points out, and I mentioned this too, you think Discovery sounds great until literally every fucking thing in your life is now up for grabs. Your entire phone, guess what? I would get a copy of your entire phone. And then I get to figure out what's relevant or not. I would get this whole thing mirrored. And you think about everything you've got on your phone, everything you've ever said or done. Do you really want people knowing about that? I wouldn't. So I get it why Destiny deleted this stuff. He doesn't want people seeing it all. I bet he has some really nasty shit that he sent out. Really embarrassing stuff. But this is once again, I think, for Destiny, and if he ends up watching this again, Destiny, maybe this is a good life lesson for you. Quit doing this shit, because then you can avoid being in these embarrassing and compromising situations. Like, pick a woman and settle down, or just quit being completely fucking degenerate with shit if you're going to be in this situation. Just lower your profile. So they go on and say that Destiny's deposition testimony confirms he possessed the very record his productions lack. Then it says, to create Exhibit E, Destiny said he sorted all the messages, and then he deleted every message that didn't contain a media file, and put into a spreadsheet the timestamps for which he sent any media files. The source he used was therefore a complete chat thread containing every outbound message, which each attachment identifiable by name and timestamp. Yeah, that's a problem. You said you did it. Destiny possessed that source on January 30th and has not produced it. Nor has he produced any of the underlying media files. Destiny produced at separate bait stamp numbers. And guys, we talked about that. Bait stamping is where you have the thing down here on the bottom, that evidence control number. The attachment files sent to him, but produced none of the files he sent to Abby in any form under any Bates number. Either Destiny still possesses them and has withheld them, or he destroyed them after January 30th, or he modified the source to strip his outbound transmissions prior to production, or he's completely fucking lied and just made all this shit up. I think it's actually probably that one. I don't think Destiny, had them and is withholding them. I don't think he's that stupid. That he destroyed them after January 30th. I mean, he could have done that. Can I see him modifying the source to strip the outbound transmissions? Yeah, maybe, but I kind of lumped that in with the first part. So, these two, I think, are more realistic. This one's not. This is not a realistic possibility. Or he just fucking made it all up. I think that's the most likely outcome here. Each scenario is destruction or non-production that himself confirmed under oath, having had in his possession. Yeah, and that's a problem with the deposition. You have to answer everything. Everything. Yes, it's like telling a fish to stop swimming. I agree, half sameness. 100% I agree. So, Destiny's also admitted that Exhibit E was manually fabricated. And they talk about, on a public food shops live stream, Food Slops is the Asian tranny that Destiny goes and hangs out with and shows up on the streams for. 1 week before he filed Exhibit E, Destiny told his audience, information is lost. There's no original file. I'm trying to reconstruct the file. I'm artificially creating a file by reconstructing a log. And that's why I think if you go back through here, this just points out that his exhibits are fabricated. I don't think there was anything here, and I think that just goes back to it. At deposition, he testified he was merging files with different timestamps, Unix code versus universal time code, to make it line up. And they point out that the omissions are independently dispositive. When Destiny sent the message that I was sending the one of you blowing me, he sent the Google Drive URL. The URL is now dead. The underlying file is destroyed. The link does not appear on Destiny's sworn true and correct log. It's not factually accurate, chat. If the link depicted Pixie, Destiny made a postcardy transmission, establishing the very transmission his motion for summary judgment denies. If it depicted any other individual, Destiny's sworn completeness statement is independently disproven. And that's true. Like, then why would you hide it if it's not a big deal? Abby's October 12th message in the produced thread, I still watch the BJ video, supports the inference that what Destiny sent on May 5th, depicting Pixie more than a year before the leak, Abby was openly referring to a BJ video that Destiny sent her, and the video does not appear. Now, they also point out here, and that's, I mean, there's a lot here, guys. This is it's just hit after hit after hit. You forgot the most important thing about food slops. What? It's a he. I said it's a tranny. Or I said troon. So, anyway, the biggest thing, Pixie's forensic expert is unrebutted and unchallenged. Pixie provided the report of Jesus Pena in compliance with the scheduling order and the principal findings that the timestamps are offset from the chat thread by 10 hours. There is no genuine time zone conversion, and it's only from manual reassembly, which, I mean, it looks like it. We saw it. But things don't match up. Things are crooked. They don't work. I mean, there's all kinds of things here. Destiny used a third-party tool called Discord Log Exporter, producing an HTML file converted to PDF, and it stripped message metadata. No cryptographic hash values were generated. The Google Drive files are unrecoverable by Destiny's own actions. And they point out that it's all gone. It's all gone. Destiny's never rebutted any of these findings. He served no Daubert motion within the scheduling order deadline. And guys, remember, Daubert is how you challenge experts in federal court. You know, are they doing, scientific, reliable, and accepted procedures and methodology, and how you challenge whether or not they're valid and making good decisions. I don't know that comment about food slop, so I'm going to leave that one alone. I don't know if that's true. I've never heard that, but I don't really pay attention. They never deposed Jesus Pena. They never served any interrogatories or document requests directed to the report, which are things you could do. You can demand information from this expert, and you have to provide it if it's your expert. They also disclosed no rebuttal expert, which I think was a problem. They had the Pena report for 107 days before the 2026 deadline. His belated objection in a single footnote of his summary judgment reply is procedurally barred and lacks legal basis. Yeah, if you don't object to it, well, this guy's coming in, and now you can contest the report findings, but you can't challenge and say he's not allowed to be here. Pena further declared that the data package is the best evidence a user can source for outgoing Discord communications. There are third-party tools, and they may capture two-sided conversations but generate no hash values. But guys, remember, this is all about, can you repeat this? Can you demonstrate this is all correct and traceable? And Destiny couldn't. Now, they point out a data package requested after deletion does not retrieve deleted messages, and Destiny admitted he requested his package only post-deletion. Destiny's claim there's not like an original Discord file, it's just a term they made up, is forensically incorrect. And yes, Destiny refused a neutral forensic examination. Now, I didn't know about this part. I don't think I recall this part being out there. But in September 2025, Pixie's attorneys proposed a neutral third-party forensic expert to examine Destiny's preserved logs and data images with mutual candidate selection, a protocol limited to Google Drive, Gmail, Discord artifacts, and the cost to be shared equally. Destiny refused. Destiny's refusal of a neutral thing, and this is itself probative, saying, well, the fact you refuse to even work with this honest, well, that's evidence that you did something wrong. Now you might say, wait, how is that fair? How is that fair? How is that fair? Well, remember, there's no Fifth Amendment issue here. This is civil court. Doesn't matter. Burkle says, Henry is called food stamps, you tourist. You know, I'm sorry. I don't waste time learning the lore of people who all I can say is out the back door of the helicopter, just shoot, shoot, shoot. I don't waste time knowing their names or who they are. I just want to know the sound they make as they get thrown out of the helicopter. So that's all I'm going to say there. So they talk about the legal standards, and it says we've already gone through what spoliation is. We talked about it. It's the failure to preserve or its significant destruction or alteration in pending or reasonably foreseeable litigation. And they talk about, once again here, though, it's, there are two types of sanctions, lesser sanctions and more severe sanctions, which you're like, well, that's very descriptive, but that's how it works. So less severe, more severe. They both share two preconditions: that ESI that should have been preserved was lost because a party failed to take reasonable steps to preserve it, and that information cannot be restored or replaced through additional discovery. There might be times where you can restore it. It's just going to cost money. Or you can retrieve it through other discovery means. Then it's not a big deal. Like there's things that can happen. So these sanctions require finding the party acted with intent to deprive another party of the information's use in litigation. And they don't require further finding of prejudice. Intent equates to bad faith. A purpose of hiding adverse evidence may be inferred from circumstantial evidence. Yeah, and that's all it takes. And a lot of that is because why? Because you don't have all the evidence you need, because evidence is destroyed, and trying to get people to turn over evidence of the fact that they destroyed incriminating evidence, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get that. So that's why this happens like that. So Digital Lee says, Digital Elite or Digital. Yeah, I think that's what you're doing. Digital, but it's 2 L's, so it's like Digital Lee Elite, I think is what you're saying. Free helicopter rides for commies? Of course. The helicopter fuel will pay for itself at some point. There's a curve, and there's a point where it does pay for itself. And they say ESI should have been preserved. Well, and this is where I don't agree with the November 2029 thing. I don't agree that it was reasonably foreseeable no later than that point. I don't think so. I don't think this is correct. And once again, I will say in Destiny's favor, I don't think you would have known at that point that Pixie was going to sue. Yes, forensic evidence is just vibes, man, just vibes. Yes, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that would. I don't think he knew that was going to happen. So I don't think that's the case. But Jefferson Post, thank you for the $2. Yes, we'll get Ryan. I'll get Ryan on. Ryan, as a seasoned civil litigator, is discovery just vibes, or is electronically stored information just vibes? I do think, honestly, though, this is one spot where I think Destiny can make an argument. Nope, I have no expectation of that. Now, the problem here, though, is Destiny said some shit in his deposition. I'm not sure what a litigation hold means. Bruh. Buddy. I'm not sure what that means. Like you didn't, because we know you like using ChatGPT and we know you use Wikipedia. You didn't go like, what does this mean? No. Like, you didn't do any of that, buddy? You didn't do any of that? Come on. Come on! Come on, we know you did. We know you did. We know you did. Ooh, and we canceled that out. I gotta go back to that. We know you did. We know you did. Come on now. Come on now, Destinito. Yeah, it's litigation edging, yes. It's litigation gooning. But he says, I don't know what that means. Like, you do. Instead of investigating his obligations or requesting clarification, he conveniently instituted no hold, issued no preservation instructions, made no forensic images, used no collection tools, or engaged in no e-discovery platform, implemented no collection methodology, and generated no values or metadata. Yeah. And this is the thing here. He continued deleting Discord after his duty attached. And his nominal preservation, was forensically unsound on its face. Destiny also failed to preserve Google Drive activity logs that would establish when and by whom Pixie's video was accessed on his Google Drive. Yeah. And if it wasn't Pixie's video, why'd you delete it? And if he says, well, I don't know, it's like, it's not an answer. That's not a good answer. Google Drive's 6-month retention window is now closed, and that evidence is unrecoverable. That is the antithesis of reasonable steps. Yeah, an ESI cannot be restored. Google Drive files don't exist anymore. The third-party witnesses cannot supply the deleted messages. He deleted his site. Pixie has subpoenaed third-party platforms and pursued all available alternatives. No other discovery exists, and that's the only way you could get it. You subpoena Google, you subpoena Discord. Hey, I want that. They're like, it's gone, bro. It's gone, and it's gone. And now here's the thing. Even if Destiny were now ordered to produce the source he admitted to having on January 30th, the ESI loss to Pixie cannot be undone. The fact discovery is closed. And that's a big thing. Discovery's done. So even if he were to offer it, that's it. Pixie can't use that to then do further depositions. Maybe there's more information or documents she should request or get things done. All that's done. Destiny's deposition was conducted without this information. Export reports were filed without this information. And trial preparation work product that Pixie would have otherwise generated has been irretrievably misdirected. Meaning if Destiny has that, their entire game plan of getting ready for trial, well, if it exists, well, God, we need that. But it's gone. Destiny had a continuing obligation to update discovery, and you do as a private party when it becomes available, but never did. And yes, Destiny acted with intent to deprive. Yes, and then the intent to deprive can be inferred from circumstantial evidence, and it's where you evince a purpose of hiding adverse evidence. Destiny has made 6 demonstrably false sworn statements. Each of the following things are provably false. Through the depositions and productions, deposition testimony, or live stream emissions. When Destiny says a true and correct log of every media file, it's disproven by his own chat threads, which show him sending Abby Google Drive links, that which nobody has. I have preserved the entirety of my logs with Abby. Nope, because they don't exist anymore. Nope, it's not the entirety. I have not permanently deleted or destroyed any evidence pertaining to this lawsuit. Disproven by Destiny's own production and his repeated public concessions that the records have been destroyed and that Exhibit E that he made is a reconstruction. He says, there's no original file. I'm creating it by reconstruction. It's like, yeah. Yeah, man, that is where we are. That is where we are in this. And it's just, that is where we are with this. And it's just, it's not a good thing for Destiny, I would argue. It's not a good thing. I mean, when we go back to these exhibits, it's just fucking chewed bubblegum, man. I mean, this is when you look at this, I mean, can you honestly look at this and say, like, oh, this totally looks legit? No, it doesn't look legit. Like, it's not, things aren't like going together. You see, like, how this stuff looks all different. The fonts don't line up. We've talked about this before. This whole thing is just hot hammered garbage. Jefferson Post says, when making Destiny cover the cost of additional discovery needed be considered a lesser sanction. No, there's no more discovery to have. The court has said discovery is done. So it's over. Even if he turned it over now, there's nothing Pixie can do with it. Destiny has already been deposed. The witnesses, like, everything's been done. The expert has already looked at evidence. Like, it would irretrievably delay the trial, and the court's not going to allow that. So what they would do instead is just punish him. But covering the cost of the additional discovery be considered the lesser sanction. I don't know if he really turned it over. Like, let's say tonight he's like, he calls Brettler's like, look, man, I actually had this whole thing. Like, let me just turn it over. Oh, man. I'm not saying not to do that, Destiny, but God almighty, God help you if you actually try to do that. God help you if you try to do that. Yes, but his upcoming manifesto about Hassan will help him win the case. Yes. Yes, yes. And go ahead, sue Hassan and sue Twitch. I'm sure that's going to go well. Destiny's denial of Pixie's request for admissions. Again, remember, not only are there requests for productions, but you can also do what are called requests for admissions. And in requests for admissions, you literally say things like, do you admit that you violated, you transmitted intimate images of Pixie after Cardi's effective date? Like, you ask those things, like, do you admit that you did this? You ask for all kinds of things for them to admit. It helps kind of scale down and speed up the process. But yeah, you ask for all kinds of shit. Which asked him to admit that he had deleted DMs with the Discord user Liquid Laugh. Destiny denied the RFA and produced no messages in response to RFP number 5. Either his denial is false or the messages are spoliated. And that means they have evidence of him doing this, is why they're asking for it. And that's the thing, guys. If you're ever in civil litigation, they're asking for things, not just phishing. A lot of times they're asking because they have the thing probably. And they're seeing if you're going to give them the stuff. And they're going to try to catch you with it. Derek says, have you ever come across real weird stuff while doing discovery? Oh, yeah. All kinds of, man, House is correct, man. Everybody lies. Everybody lies. Everybody's got something to hide. We've all got something to hide. We've all got some embarrassing shit out there we don't want the world to know. That is the nature of things. That is the nature of it. We all have things that are embarrassing. We all have things that are personal and private to us that we wouldn't want to share with the world. So, I mean, the idea, you find out all kinds of crazy shit. You find all crazy shit out there. Kay says, what's the weirdest thing you saw in Discovery? I would rather not discuss that. That is not something I would feel comfortable discussing in a stream. So, yes, what me watching the stream? Yes, that's yeah. So, Marylander, you're asking, did I move? Not yet. We the movers came today to take all the shit down to Florida. 2.0 is driving down on Sunday with the dogs to get started on her job. They need her down there like ASAP. I'm up here for 2 more weeks because I have to get, I have to finish up my business up here. I have to wrap up my affairs and my stuff. So, my 1,000-yard stare remembering. Well, I mean, yes, I don't know. I mean, like I say, the worst stuff out there is still, anything I've ever seen civilly is still not eclipsed by the stuff I've dealt with in the criminal side of things. So, I will say that. I will say that. And they say, we'll move on here. We're going to keep going, guys. Destiny's testimony, he produced all communications with Dan Saltman, his right hand. If you guys were, I don't even know what the hell happened, but there was a whole doxing thing, and Dan Saltman is like Destiny's like BFF. You know, it's his right hand man up there. You know, it's his Lex Luthor. You know, it's Destiny's Mossad handler. It sees communication with people about anything. So, and they say Dan Saltman is the founder and CEO of React.dev, the tool Destiny claims he used to preserve evidence. Yeah, isn't it kind of funny how that worked? Destiny produced no communications with Saltman, despite confirming their business relationship and friendship, which they have an extensive one. And notwithstanding his own filing of a January 2025 message from Pixie to Saltman as Exhibit 2, a screenshot Destiny could have only obtained from Saltman. Yes. And they have, like, as of like last week when they had that whole thing with like Shamu and Chud Logic, and I think Queeman was on that, and like I don't even know what the hell they were. Destiny and Dan Saltman were on there. I don't know what they were all arguing about, but it was just a bunch of fucking spurgs screaming at each other. I don't even know what it was all about. It's about people getting doxxed or something. And yeah, Hatchet Man Dan, yes. Let's see here. Derek says, do you have to hand over your phone or iPad, or do they just go to your ISP? No. Like, I could get a forensic imaging of your, I would get a mirroring of your phone. I would get an entire forensic imaging of it, depending on the situation. Like, you know, Cellbrite and all those things, like, you can get civilian imaging programs, and we would have an expert just hoover up all your data. So, Titty Connoisseur says, what's your best lie about the weirdest thing you saw on Discovery is? I'm not. Now you're being funny. Were triangle hands involved? No. Kay said, I thought you said good logic. Oh, no. So some of you guys are talking about what happened in going on there. I don't know. So don't Fair Frozen says, how would you limit that? I've got a phone with a work token for VPNs. I wouldn't want my opponents having access to my work computers. Well, you would have to probably sort that out with the attorney to like limit that. But yeah, it's going to be tough. But it's something you can work on. It's something you would have to deal with. That's one of those things. That's why you don't want to get involved in lawsuits, guys. It's why you don't want to do this. Then Destiny's testimony. We'll keep going. Destiny's testimony. I produced every communication I've ever had with Abby. And I don't believe I permanently deleted any messages with Abby at all. Well, yeah, disproven by the productions of, itself, the two-way Abby thread and the 22 missing items. And it says a Discord thread cannot be both complete and missing only one party's transmissions. So either Destiny deleted his outbound transmissions or fabricated a production by stripping them. Both establish intent to deprive. They do. And it says the pattern of 6 demonstrably false sworn statements is direct evidence of a purpose of adverse inference. Yeah, I would agree. And then they point out Destiny preserved evidence that helped him and only destroyed what did not. So Destiny admitted his deletion practice is selective and account dependent. Asset deposition. This is interesting, guys, because I would love to see this deposition. Because for Destiny, guys, we talked before, when you're in depositions, there's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. Absent your attorney, and you guys, I think you guys have seen the video of that famous deposition video where these attorneys talk about how they're going to kick each other's ass and stuff. Generally speaking, you are It's kind of like in Troy when Hector's fighting Achilles out in front of the walls of the city. You're on your own. Once you step out the gate, you're off the reservation. You're on your own. Nobody's coming for you. You either win or you die. And this situation, Destiny was out there in depositions. You got nowhere to go. You have to answer questions. Your attorney can object, but ultimately you have to answer questions, and then those might get sorted out by the court. If you sit there and say, well, no, I'm not answering that, or you instruct your client not to answer, you have to like sometimes stop. You go to the judge. But no, depositions are rough. I'd love to see Destiny's deposition, the whole thing. They say asked a deposition whether it was his custom to delete messages when he stopped communicating with people. Destiny answered, sometimes it depends on the account. He did not delete his messages to Rose. As to Abby, he did not deny any deleting, stating that only there are plenty of other people I deleted messages with. The production confirms the selectivity. Destiny retained the full two-sided Rose thread, which was not publicly available. Solo leaked only excerpts, but deleted his Abby side and produced 2 inconsistent versions of the thread. The only outbound intimate content attachment Destiny produced anywhere is the video Destiny transmitted to Rose on April 9th of 2022. Notice they're agreeing now it is April 9th. So it's interesting how they went from saying, well, no, it didn't say April 9th or April 10th. It actually said it was not 4/10/2022. It was 10/4/2022. They were trying to make that argument, and it didn't go. You can't rage quit a depot. You can't just click out. Jefferson Post for $2. Thank you, man. Says your phone is a stool pigeon in your pocket. Yeah, guys, this is a channeling machine. It'll tell so much shit on you. It'll tell the police. It'll tell people all kinds of things about you. In a Destiny's case, it'll make up crap about you. The one video Solo had public leak, after which denial was no longer realistic. Yeah. Every other outbound attachment is missing. Destiny produced his received attachments at separate bait stamps. He produced no set attachments in any form. The asymmetry is not preservation failure. It is selection. They say Destiny twice admitted the destruction of his Abby communications was an intentional carve-out. On redirect by his own counsel, and guys, this is during depositions, there can be, direct, there could be cross-examination here. I produce every communication I've ever had with Abby. I don't believe anything has been deleted with the Abby stuff, even though I'm pretty sure the request for preservation wouldn't have even initially covered Abby. And it says 2 weeks after his deposition, he stated on a live stream. You guys remember, this is the problem here. Destiny's deposition happened at the end of April, at the beginning of May, so not very long ago. He stated on a live stream, Abby was not part of the court case at the time, though. So technically, I could have just said, I have nothing from Abby, and I would have been fully within my right to wipe all of it. I just don't know why you would say all this stuff, Destiny. I don't know how you'd say all this stuff. I don't know why you would. Lou says, what do I think right now? I mean, I haven't read all the way through this yet, but I wouldn't want to be Destiny with this. Now, sure, this is one-sided. I'm sure Butler's going to come back and go, well, that's not true. Destiny's in a bad spot, man. A lot of shit's gone missing, and he doesn't have answers or explanations for it. It's going to be a jump ball. This is not going to be Destiny's, whoever wins is barely going to win. Honestly, I still think that's the case here. And that's only because Pixie and her legal team have made this difficult. That's more of it. I just don't think it's going to ultimately get him there. And Lou's saying, well, there's more context to that statement. He could have deleted all the Rose stuff very early on. Rose wasn't involved in the court case until a few months later. Yeah, but at that point, Destiny has an obligation to save everything once the notice goes out. And obviously, he knows where it started because he's clear, like he said it to Rose, and that would have been the leak out. Because when Pixie's talking, he's like, "Yeah, I can't believe I said it. Fuck, I'm so sorry." You already know you have to save all the Rose stuff. So I think Destiny's got a lot of problems here. I think Destiny's got a lot of problems on how to explain this. And the point is not that Destiny wiped all of the Abby material. He produced chat threads with all the data missing. The point is that Destiny has admitted twice and under oath that he believed Abby communications were outside the scope of his obligation. That admitted state of mind is direct evidence of the intent to deprive. I mean, yes, and that's the thing. But Destiny also never investigated what do I have to do. And yes, if you believe your responsive material falls outside your preservation duty, you have the requisite mental state to destroy that material selectively. Now, is that a problem here? Yeah, but I don't think Destiny's own part of, I never talked with anybody about this, I think is a bigger problem for him than saying, well, I didn't think it was responsive. And Destiny did that. He kept the messages while destroying the attachments. The Adams Zone would have directly evidenced the Cardi transmission at the heart of this case. Now, that is important here. Like, if you didn't think it was all responsive, well, then why did you save? You didn't just delete the whole thing. You deleted part of it. Oh, you're saying, oh, my bad. I got Rose confused with Abby. Yeah, I mean, no, fair enough, Lou. Good to see you, by the way. This sounds very Brian Higgins like, yeah, why'd you break your phone up and throw it away on 2 separate military bases and destroy your SIM card? Well, I always do that. Bullshit you do. Bullshit you do. And they say that Destiny produced nothing for categories of documents and individuals he himself identified as relevant. Destiny served a Rule 26A initial disclosure. And guys, with an initial disclosure, you identify people who you think are important to a case and who might have information. He identified 12 categories of relevant documents in his possession and 7 non-party individuals. Cherry Lav, Lauren De Laguna, guys. Yes, remember, Lauren De Laguna from the Chili de Castro days. And it's funny how that's how, I think I remember talking about this. When I saw her name pop up, I'm like, no fucking way. And yeah, guys, remember Lauren De Laguna. We learned about her through the Chili de Castro saga. It's like, Matt Hurdle, Jared, who is Lycan, Brianna Wu, and Adam Ali. And, they point out that plaintiff's RFP number 9 in the first set and RFP number 1 in the second set, you have multiple requests for documents. So they're pointing out that RFP 1 and RFP 2, they sought those documents and communications. Destiny produced nothing in 9 of the 12 categories. He produced 0 communications with the 7 non-party witnesses he himself identified, including Cherry and Lauren De Laguna, with whom he acknowledged intimate relationships. Yeah. So, V-Tooming says, who's Chili de Castro? Ooh, you're going to have to go back through my pre-recorded content and look at Chili. Chili is a sovereign citizen lunatic who runs the channel Delete Laws. And he believed in all kinds of methed out things. We need to do another Chili stream again, yeah. Yeah, this is like destroying your phones like Hillary Clinton. It's like destroying your phones like Hillary Clinton. I know, it's like, we smash them all with a hammer and then we use bleach bit. It's like, yeah, that's not evidence destruction. Yes, Chili is an inspiration for police brutality, yes. Adam says, is it too late to get logs from ChatGPT? Yes, discovery is closed. Fact discovery, it's done. It's too late. So, it's too late. It's too late. Now, let's see here. Where are we? Here we go. Okay. He produced 0 Twitter communications with the Rose, despite producing the Discord side, and 0 comms with Tiny. A litigant cannot identify witnesses having discoverable information and then not produce a single communication in response. I mean, yeah, that's a problem. Like, oh, these people have knowledge of it all, and they're people I talk to all the time, but I got nothing for you. It's like, I don't think I believe that. So either his disclosures were false, or he destroyed or withheld what he swore was relevant. Yeah. And the third set of RFPs, specifically reaching communication with four named individuals about Pixie, from JStock, Willie Mac, Food Slops, and Darius IRL. The Rose-related call logs and ESI concerning Destiny's use of React.dev from Dan, or any other program or service to delete, conceal, modify, or archive data. So yeah, I mean, like, what is this one going to be? Destiny screaming at him, I'm going to dox you and kill you! They don't get along. They don't get along. And they point out that Destiny objected, saying the use of redact is vague and ambiguous and assumes facts, not in evidence, which is irreconcilable with his own April declaration that he used redact to archive his Discord. Then Destiny cannot make redact the foundation of his preservation defense and refuse to produce anything about it. Yeah. Yep. Crystal for 10 subs. And I thank you so much, Crystal. It's so cool when we get these, like, they're now like all the different colors. And I think this is like YouTube's way of like giving out participation trophies, because like if you don't get a lot of red boys, now you get a red boy. And it's not Argentine pesos. Although no, if you're out there, I still appreciate you, man. And I hope your Argentine law school stuff is going well. But yeah, we get an awoo for that. Yes. Another awoo. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, Crystal. Thank you for being here. Yes, 10 subs in the kitchen. Oh. What happened to Laura De Laguna? I don't know. She's off on her own. She's crazy. That's the thing you need to worry about with her. Now, this is big here. The motion is timely. And you might say, well, wait, why is this happening now? Well, the standard is as soon as reasonably possible after discovery of the facts that underlie the motion. And remember, Destiny and Pixie, the court had its ruling not even a month ago, and it said within 10 days of this ruling, you guys are going to have your depositions, which set it for the end of April into the beginning of May, and we're only now 3 weeks into May. So, like, this stuff is all being resolved, and it's all unfolding on a very condensed timeline. So this is pretty timely. It takes a while. It takes a while to collate all this and put it together. And it says the rule of intent to deprive typically cannot be established without the spoliator's own deposition testimony. And the advisory committee notes, and guys, for the rules of civil procedure, the rules of evidence, the rules of criminal procedure, there are notes attached to each part of it. The FRCP itself, and we'll open this up here. And here is an example of it. This is Rule 26, duty to disclose and rules regarding discovery. And we're going to get down here to the bottom. If you're looking for things that'll help you in one way or another, notes of the advisory committee on rules, going back to 1937, they talk about these rules. They talk about all this stuff that goes on, and they cite different states that support them or what they want to do. There's all kinds of things, in 1946 amendment on the rules. And you use all these things in 1963, 66 amendments. You use all of this to help you justify. It's like legislative history being argued in like the Supreme Court. But these notes may explain things more in depth about what we mean and what we're looking at. What cases are we citing? Like down here, this case Herbert versus Lando from 1979. It's just what you use these notes to help you reinforce your positions. So that's why you see the advisory notes and the committee notes. There were 2,000. I mean, like, there's amendments all the time to these rules, guys. There was a 2025 amendment. Remember, we have all kinds of things now, more and more and more stuff. So that is important to understand what they're citing here and how they're looking at. I need obnoxious cheap keyboard sounds. Give this man a bubble membrane keyboard. Oh. So yeah, that is what this is here. When you see committee notes, that's what that's what Pixie's team is referring to. So they expressly contemplate that the intent finding may be made by the court on a pretrial motion, and that's correct. So it's pretrial. It's pretrial. Hold on, chat. I need to. Let's see here, chat. Now, let me see here. Now, this is here. Let's see here. Lou, this is something I brought up before. Do you have to have a motion to compel first before spoliation? No, because at that point, if it's not been produced at all, I would argue you could probably skip ahead. Although if it's been partially done, I think there's some of this that Destiny's going to be able to say you should have done a motion to compel. Although I think the court's going to say, look, I cut off discovery. The timelines have been condensed because you guys have been fucking around. So I think he's going to say, fuck it, I'm making rulings. So if I'm Destiny, I'd be very careful because that's not necessarily the strongest position he could be in at this point. And what the hell just popped up on my screen? This Copilot thing. Nobody, what? Okay, that was weird. So, the Ryan Malala keyboard is engaged, yeah. So, there are times where you will need to do it, but not every time. Crystal's saying, did they F around and find out? I think a little bit. Here. They contemplate the intent findings could be done pre-trial. The courts in this district also apply the multi-factor test in Sosa versus Carnival Corporation. They talk about the timing of the motion, the prejudice, the reasonable explanation, and closeness to trial. And they point out that we couldn't have filed this before Destiny's April 30th deposition, and we could not have taken that deposition until the court's April 21st order. The original scheduling order set fact discovery, and that's the getting information, to close on December 16th. The Rule 37 deadline at March 30th and the trial for May 18th. Well, on November 5th, the court stayed proceedings, deferring Destiny's deposition for over 5 months. During the stay, we repeatedly sought to restore the schedule, filed a Rule 56D motion, and moved for a continuance. The court resolved everything at the April 21st conference, vacated the trial date, reset trial to August 10th, my birthday, and authorized a 10-day deposition window. I forgot it was set for August. I keep thinking July for some reason. Destiny was deposed 9 days later, and the deposition produced admissions central to the intent to deprive. We filed the motion within 3 weeks of that deposition, which induced the admissions central, and we did not delay. We could not move forward sooner. And they say Destiny's been on notice throughout, beginning with the April 4th hearing, then 4 written deficiency letters. And this is where these weren't motions to compel, but you do write as part of discovery. You write a letter saying, hey, Attorney Bob, hey, we asked for all this crap. You didn't give it to us. This is a deficient response in production. We need the rest of this. Like, where is it? This is not acceptable. So There was stuff done, but it wasn't done as a formal motion to compel. Sweet Tooth Fairy says, did we delay the wedding because of the move? Yes. We were planning on doing it, but then all this stuff happened. So, yes. Because we were going to do it as part of a big trip. Oh, no, it was Microsoft Copilot. It just weirdly popped up. Then Pixie's proposed neutral forensic examination got denied, and then her express notification of this motion and her summary judgment opposition. Any delay caused by waiting for Destiny's deposition has not prejudiced Destiny. He has known the spoliation claim for many months. Yeah, and guys, remember, Pixie and her team have been crying for months, all the way back at the beginning, and that's where, remember, we went through this, and they said, if there's a problem, you file a request for production, then they don't give them, and then you go bitch and moan. But they hadn't asked for discovery yet. So the court said, I can't help you. They move on to point out this directly supplies the postcarding transmission evidence inference. And Destiny argues in his motion for summary judgment reply that Pixie cannot convert unsupported allegations of spoliation into evidence. And, they're saying this misunderstands the rule. The presumption destroyed evidence was unfavorable to the spoliator is itself the evidence on which the merits dispute is resolved. And that is true here. Applied here, the court is authorized to establish as a matter of fact or instruct the jury that the destroyed Google Drive files that Destiny transmitted to Abby contained one or more of the 3 intimate recordings of Pixie Destiny admitted at deposition he made. Yeah, and I think it's pretty fair, because if they weren't, why would you delete them? I mean, the answer is because they'd be extremely embarrassing, but, them's the fucking breaks. Although, to be fair, it doesn't seem like Destiny's really embarrassed about anything. When the videos came about of him looked like he was sucking on cock, he's like, yeah, that's me, whatever. And you're just like, damn. Lou says, I'm in Florida now? Not yet. Coming up in about 2 weeks. Sweet Tooth Fairy's been a member for 37 months. Wow, thank you for being here for so long. 3 years. Happy birthday, Sean. Not till August, but thank you. Thank you. Are you still getting married on a covered bridge? No. We're not sure what we're going to do now. We're not sure yet what we're doing. We're going to figure it out, chat. We're going to figure it out. They point out, though, with the presumptions in place, 2 undisputed facts complete the merits analysis. Those transmissions occurred after October 1st, and Pixie did not consent. And that's all it takes. The result is a transmission as a matter of law, or at minimum, a tribal issue precluding summary judgment, which I think the court may actually say this is correct here. I don't think they're just going to give it to Cart. I don't think they're going to give it to Pixie. I think they're going to say, fine, we're going to have our fucking trial. And the judge is going to look at both of them and say, fine, you got your fucking wish. Let's go to trial. And both of them are going to shit a brick. And then it's an issue of who blinks first and offers to settle. Destiny's Daubert challenge to Jesus Pena, raised for the first time in a footnote, is procedurally barred. I agree, and also just raising it as a footnote doesn't work. In any event, the motions do not rise or fall on Pena. The spoliation findings are supported directly by Destiny's own sworn admissions and live stream confessions. Pena corroborates the documentary record. He's not the source of it. And they say the sanctions should be imposed. Once again, they want to judgment in Pixie's favor as a liability and say Destiny violated Cardi. He's liable for it, and therefore we rule in favor of Pixie. That is not happening at all. And that's insane. That would never happen. There's times where it could in some cases, but generally that's an insane sanction to get. Now, on the other side of it, though, it's more likely to get that as a sanction to case dismissed, which is what, obviously the Farms is hoping for the Russell Greer case. They want to find that under Rule 37, Destiny intentionally spoliated evidence, and they want the adverse inference instruction that he destroyed Google Drive files that prove that he did this. Pixie also wants an award of reasonable attorney's fees and costs, which is very reasonable. And yes, the court has inherent sanctions power, including fees. Yep. For all the reasons above, they want the court to grant the relief set forth. And then this is the certificates of conferral. Pixie conferred with counsel for Destiny by email regarding the relief requested. And that's the thing here. They're just saying, they call them up and say, hey, Brettler, here's what we're doing. They oppose the relief. Parties weren't able to resolve the dispute, and therefore we have to have a motion. But you're following the local rules. Remember, you have to meet and confer. It's Russell Greer's bane, meeting and conferring. Dated May 18th, 2026. Guys, for those of you keeping track, that was Monday. So Joan Peters, Carlos Garcia. And then they sent a true and correct copy of this through ECF to everybody, and that's it. That's it, Chad. So what's going to happen? I don't know. So Destiny won't get the full Alex Jones treatment. He's not. I mean, we'll see. We have a Stony Point bar and grill near me. It's nice. Do a Vegas style wedding at the Keno Casino. We're now getting married at the Gator Farm. Yeah. Adam says, place a cardboard sign that says where you are in the background. Best. You know what? We may do that. But if I do that, people are going to be like, how do we know you're not in Ohio still? You're just saying that. It's like, okay. Disney World. Yeah, we're not going. Hold on, let me ask her. So, sweetheart, you don't want to get married at Disney World?
Oh, fuck that.
Well, there you go. She said, fuck that. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to either. I wouldn't want to either. Let's see here. Green screen Florida, yes. Just make the sign say kitchen or office, yeah. So, but anyways, guys, yeah, I think the court is just going to say, I don't think Pixie's not going to get her first wish. She will get attorney's fees out of this. But what do I think from here? I think that they'll just say you can use this to show material, there are issues of material fact in dispute, and you're going to trial. You're going to trial. I think this is where it's going to go. If I'm Pixie, I don't want to go to trial. If I'm Destiny, I do not want to go to trial. And then once again, this is going to turn into a situation of Brettler and Peters, and they're going to stare at each other like when they realize they're going to trial, and they're both like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. And they're going to be like, the first one that says, let's settle, it's a game of chicken. It's a game of chicken. And we'll see. EDW Raptor for $5 says, I just got here. Can you be like Paul Prudhomme and make us a sandwich in a cooking demo? Oh, I guarantee that I will not do that. I will not do that. Has a classic Florida Echo House. No, it's an Ohio Echo House. So, oh my gosh, you guys are ridiculistic. Malcolm says magnetic tapes are way cheaper per gigabyte and still very reliable. I know per gigabyte, but I mean, if I'm at terabytes and stuff, I think it's, conventional data is now actually surpassing. Yes, like big corporations and stuff still use magnetic tapes. It's actually pretty cool how they use them and retrieve off of them. Titty Connoisseur says, are my punch cards ESI? I mean, technically they would be able to because it's electronically stored information. That's just the protocol to retrieve it. So, yeah. Benefactum says, best of luck, Sean, at 2.0. I'm looking forward to watching daytime trial streams with you. Thank you. I think it'll be fun. I think that will be fun. Ag says, how do I get on this Quack directory? It's actually not hard to do. In my kitchen, maxing, yes. And then let's see here. Luke Priest says, greetings. Well, hello, man. Hope you're doing well. P-Dub says Ryan Mullally needs to embrace the right-wing death squad. He's getting there, chat. Soon Ryan will be talking about doing his own right-wing, his Serbian paramilitary group himself. Then Jefferson Post for $2 says, when keeping it debate bro goes wrong. Yeah, it doesn't work in a deposition. Let's see here. I think we're all caught up on everything. Let's see. I think I got... I'm going back to sleep. Sean's voice is quite soothing right now. Well, there you go. Let's see here. The magnetic tapes they use could hold a petabyte of data. Great times, but the Canadian Frogs brought the company and moved the tape library to Quebec. Oh, really? I didn't know they could save that much data. Cool. Elope in Hawaii. I don't want to go to Hawaii. Adam says, when you graduated at top 110th law school, did you think you'd be bringing lawsuits from your kitchen to chat? You mean when I graduated from the 9th best law school in Ohio? No, I did not. I did not think I'd be here today. But look where we're at now. Look where we're at. Like, hey, look, Ma, I made it. It's like that song goes, like, hey, look, Ma, I made it. You know, when I started doing this, did I think Destiny would know who I am? And they kind of fucking, basically call me a retard on stream. No. Did I think Mr. Medicare would know who I am? No. Did I think I'd ever run an Ethan Ralph? No. Or Andy Worski? No. Did I think I'd ever run to a lot of things? No. Did I think this would turn out the way it did? No, not at all. Can you whisper sweet nothings to you? No. T from Laos says, I feel ripped off in a kitchen without a sandwich. Such is life. Such is life. Crystal says you made it. Yeah, yes. And Balm says there's 8 law schools in Ohio. Actually, technically, kind of. We're going to count them. Okay, so we'll count. Ohio State, Capital, Cincinnati, Dayton, Akron, Ohio Northern, Cleveland State, Toledo. That's 8. The way Ohio works, there is another law school. I think I got all of them. I think I caught them all. Yeah, I think I did. There's another law school, technically, that Ohio considers as an Ohio law school. And it's Salmon P. Chase Law School, and that is just over the river in Kentucky. Now, what does that mean? That means if you go to that law school, Ohio considers you an Ohio student. So you're allowed to, for purposes of the Ohio bar, that's considered an Ohio law school. So that's why I say there's 9. But that's why I say 9 instead of 8. So kind of right, but kind of not. It's how it's counted here. Wasn't that Panic at the Disco? Yes. Penny Lawyer, not retarded. Yes. Well. Yes, avoid photos of Knoxville on the way down south. Yes. I wonder, though, am I going to travel through Clarksville, Tennessee? That'll be funny. I could stop by there, and then when I go through actually, hold on here. We're going to check this out. And I'm only using my phone because it's quicker here than typing it on the laptop because I got more control over it. Colton County, South Carolina. How far? Oh, I-95 goes right through there. Oh, my God, chat. We can, I'll stop and take a picture at the courthouse down there. We'll do that. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah, chat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy. And then I don't think, Clarksville, Tennessee is way over on the, kind of like in the eastern or the western half of the state. When I go south, I'm taking 77. I'm not even going. I don't think I'm even going through Tennessee if I take. Yeah, I don't even go through Tennessee. Um, I will be going through the land of the pines. I will be heading down south through the land of the pines. And, you could be heading west through, not necessarily the Cumberland Gap, but you could be heading west to Johnson City, Tennessee. So, yeah, that'll be kind of fun. Interesting. I'll have to stop and take a picture real quick. That's not a food safe kitchen with all those boxes. Thank you. Well, yeah, especially like this guy right here. This right here is actually, we're preparing for the trip down. That is a disposable, like a mobile cat litter box. We were kind of 2.0 was messing with and checking out. There's a community college I went to. Yeah. Arguing technicalities like a lawyer. Yes. Salad pea chase. No, salmon pea chase. Now rank them. Well, what's with Knoxville? That's that picture of like Coach, Red Pill, Ethan Ralph, Andy Worski, and that's the picture in Knoxville they're talking about. Katie says, "Are you nervous about staying awake for the whole drive?" I mean, no. And if I did get tired, I'll pull over at a rest stop, like with a Love's or Flying J, and just take a nap and then keep driving. No, not number one antagonist is there are 14 law schools in Ohio. Destiny is innocent. Trump isn't a PDF. Christian God is a real one. Transformers are Decepticons. The Earth is flat. What else do you want to know? Well, I agree with one of those things. So I actually agree with a couple, but not all of them. Can you stop with all the stuff you'll be hauling? Yeah. Yeah, I'm allowed to stop. All the states are free states, so. Crystal says, "Are you going through the Bible Belt?" Yeah, I'm basically coming through the eastern part of Ohio, down to West Virginia, through Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia to Florida. Yeah, we'll be doing a stream. I'll probably be in voice chat on Discord at a couple different times. It's a 15-hour drive, so I'll have some stuff there. I'll do some stuff over there. I'm gonna have some me time as well. That song is banned from any decent bar in North America. Ryan says, "You're moving?" Yes, to Florida in a couple of weeks. 2.0 is heading down there this weekend. Yes, it was the Gunt incident. Yes. What are you driving down there? Our car. Are you having stuff shipped via a moving company? Yes. Yeah, we had a moving company. They came today and took it all. I mean, holy shit. Like, boxing your stuff up is one thing, but then like actually loading it up into like a U-Haul or something and then moving like a piano and a bunch of shit like that is for the fucking birds, man. If you can afford to get it done for you, do that. Because whoo, it is nice. It is nice. I'm sure 2.0 would agree if she could hear me. Will we do a Mar-a-Lago stream? Yes. Country Roads, you better play the damn song. Oh, I'm going to play that. Georgia. Yeah. All the stuff, Georgia on my mind. It's going to be great. Let's see here. Fun fact, John Radcliffe went to Cuba and brought one of the military leaders that killed the Black Wasp Brigade in Venezuela. Ooh, okay, nice. Based. Can I do a Great Indoor style stream as well? No. I have the sniffles. It's because this house is full of dust and hair, and it's all been stirred up, and we've been vacuuming and mopping and all kinds of stuff today. .0 plays piano. She did at one point. 2.0 is, guys, I don't think you understand. 2.0 is an amazing person. She an amazing woman. She is very artistic. She's very gifted. She can sing. She can act. She's good at a lot of things. She's amazing. Clyde will take Sean for walks at the rest stops. Yeah. Yes, I'm not going through New England with items. Yeah. If I was I wouldn't be going through New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Yeah, if that was an issue, I wouldn't have gone. I'd be figuring that out. I'd be shipping that stuff through FedEx or something. A fuzzy creature says, "What happens to the Ohio lawyer work?" Well, I mean, I won't if I there's some courts and stuff where maybe I could do some remote things, but a lot of it's going to be, ghostwriting stuff for other attorneys. So we'll see. Piano is keyboard for Clyde. Yes. So I'm in the kitchen. 2.0 is artistic. I am autistic. What a combination. Yes. Yeah, she is amazing. 2.0 is, I still don't understand how she let me into her life like she did, but it's been amazing. She's so loving. She's so kind, so sweet. I don't know how I got her, but I am thrilled that I have her. I really am. That's all I can say. And I don't want to, if I keep going, it'll, you guys are going to call me gay. Even this crap states have to let your toys in when you're passing through. Do you want to fucking bet? I would not chance it. I would not drive through those states. Fuck all that noise. Fuck all that noise. Chooch says, I wish you the best in your next step in life defending the Florida man. Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, her one defect is she likes me. Yes. Jefferson Post says, are you leaving a fallen handyman memorial? No. No, not at all. Yeah, she saw my Fed posting, went straight to her boss. Like, I found my next undercover gig. Does she like Star Trek? I don't know. Sweetheart. Oh, she's asleep already, I think. No, I don't think she likes Star Trek. I think she'd say it's gay. So, all right, guys. I think we are all wrapped up. Yeah, it's 10:45. It's Friday. We've had a very long day. We've had a very long week. We've had a very long month. Basically, like a very long month and a half, 2 months, really, when the news has kind of started percolating out that we were getting ready to go. So we're about to be wheels up here in Ohio. Did I collect all the knives I've hidden in Cleveland? No, I have not. Remember, some of them have disappeared on me. So, but yeah, it's been a very long month. And yeah, we need to get some sleep. And, the next couple of weeks are going to stink because 2.0 is going to be gone. The dogs are going to be gone. I'm going to miss them. And then I'm also basically like sleeping in a house with nothing in it. So your clock is 3 minutes ahead. Yeah. We're keeping me from the microwave. Oh, you don't. Shut the fuck up. You're not helping. So with that said, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I am joining Bob Mata, Ali Mata, and Mark Betterow. We're going to be doing a live stream fundraiser for Aaron Spencer. He's the guy down in Arkansas who had to kill the pedophile that was abducting his daughter again. And yeah, we're going to be helping raise money for that. He's set for trial here at the end of the month in June. And if you guys can, please join us over on Defense Diaries podcast. We're not streaming here. I will be over on Bob and Allie's channel, Defense Diaries podcast here on YouTube. I'll put the link up out there on Twitter and also here tomorrow. And ow. Oh, thank you, Key. No, thank you, Chewy. She put her paws up on me with her claws out. She's like, fat man, help me. I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. So, but anyways, yeah, we are going to do that tomorrow. If you guys want to join over, come and say hi. That's where I'll be. I don't know what I'll be doing tomorrow night. I don't think I will be streaming. Sunday, maybe. Ow, fuck. We might do something on Sunday. I don't know. And then Monday, and then going forward, we should be doing stuff. But like I said, I'll be wrapping things up, seeing friends, taking care of stuff. So I don't know exactly what my schedule is going to be, but we'll try. We'll do what we can, chat. So with that said, you guys, see you guys all next time. And just remember, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Boop. Good night, chat. Yes, the cat is murdering me. Yes. No, it needs a lot more scritches. It's being ridiculous. So she's being a bitch. Good night, chat.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains.
If you were here back in the beginning times, like around Theodore Edgecombe, you would have seen this cat because she would hop up on the desk and you'd see her tail like floof, floof, floof across the screen. So
Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops. Even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. But please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy that hated you?